We're going to take a look at a play out of the gun dice slot that's called curl slot shake. Now this particular play, what we like about it is very effective against man coverage, and the reason for that is because the route that's ran by the slot receiver. Now if you really think about this route, it's more or less a slant route with one extra adjustment as far as with the pass route, and that's where this receiver, as you look at it, he's going to wind up heading up the field here, and then he's going to break over here, and then he's going to cut across into this area here. It's at this point where he winds up breaking out here is where he usually winds up getting a separation, and he ends up coming across, and that's where we can wind up making that throw to him. Now what we're going to show here is a couple things that we like to do to make sure that he's open as far as some hot route adjustments. So let's go ahead and take a look at the defense first as far as what the defensive coverages look like. And this one, we're going to run this against two-man under. Bump and run man coverage has been called, so just keep that in mind as you're watching through it. And then what we want to do here is we're going to go ahead and hot route the split end and the flanker on streak. So you can see those two receivers, as you look at it, have both been hot routed on streaks. Now I'm going to tell you this. With these two receivers, you don't necessarily have to hot route the split end over here. You don't really have to hot route him on a streak, this guy right here, but you do need to hot route this guy on a streak for this to work, at least the way I want to show it. And the reason for that is the left cornerback's going to cover the flanker in this case here. So if the flanker was to run this curl route, so let's pretend like he's running this curl route in this area here. If the flanker was to go ahead and run that curl route, the left cornerback's going to go in this area here and cover that receiver. And for that reason, as this guy winds up coming across, so here he is, he ends up coming across over the middle of the field. If the ball is thrown in this area here by the quarterback, there's a good chance that the left cornerback's going to end up over here, and he's going to be in position to go ahead and make the tackle. So by doing this, by sending this receiver on a streak, this is the flanker that we're going to go ahead and send on a streak, then this is going to go ahead and draw this left cornerback deep as well. Plus, it's also going to go ahead and draw the strong safety deep. So you end up getting those two guys being drawn deep and away from where we're going to wind up throwing the ball to the slot receiver. So that's the reason that we want to hot route the flanker on a streak route, is to make sure that we clear out that side of the field. So once the slot receiver comes all the way across, he should wind up being open, and we don't have to worry about the left cornerback or even the strong safety trying to make a tackle on him. So let's go ahead and run through the play here. There is one other thing that I want to talk about before we actually run the play. And you can run the play as is, but that slot receiver, if they're in bump and run man coverage, is going to wind up getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. So for me, and I think a lot of you guys know this, I like to use motion. So for example, with this particular receiver, I'm actually going to go ahead and send him in motion into this area here, and then I'm going to go ahead and snap the ball. And then he'll go up this area here, break that way, and he'll wind up going in that area there. And the chances are he should wind up getting open, because this corner, or excuse me, this defensive back is going to cover, and happens to be the nickel back. He's going to wind up coming in this area here, and then he's going to go all the way across. And hopefully what I wind up getting here is that this receiver will actually get a step or two on the nickel back where I can go ahead and make that throw to him. And that's the idea of this play. So I'll wind up throwing the ball somewhere in this area here where this receiver can make the catch and wind up having a nice chance of picking up some extra yardage as he winds up heading up the field. And that's the idea of this. So let's go ahead and actually run through the play, and you can see what winds up happening on the field. Here's the motion right there. He goes up the field. We're going to go ahead and pause it right there. Now watch what happens here. He's going to go this direction, at least initially, and he's going to come back in this area here, and you're going to wind up seeing that nickel back who's going to end up not being able to cover him. And you can see right there where I make the throw, and I wind up completing it for a nice pickup. So it's certainly a play that you can attack zone coverage with as well, but for this particular video breakdown, we want to go ahead and show you how we like to attack it against man coverage, and this is an example of how we like to do it, by go ahead and putting the guy in motion, hot routing those two outside receivers on streaks, and then running the play. So just keep that in mind. The name of the play is called Gun Dice Slot Curl Slot Shake.